Hey, this is Tom, and in this video we're going to look at refurbishing this, there's actually a pair of andirons. Alright, so we're just using the plasma cam as our display table today. So, actually this isn't the right piece here. Got a pair of these andirons that came in for repair. Oh, maybe that was the right one. It's just bent that much. But basically these are old cast iron. Yeah, that is it. It's just bent. So these are old cast iron pieces. And what we're going to do on this one is, rather than just... I thought about just going ahead and trying to braze that together again, but apparently what's happening is this keeps, well, it keeps breaking. They're going through these andirons, and effectively it's too much weight in the middle here along with the heat, and they're probably hard on these things, throwing stuff in there. You end up getting a crack, it gets brittle, and they break, right? Very crystalline surface, and actually I can see this took a while to break, because you can see the two different colors in it. What we're going to do though, we're going to cheat a little bit. We're going to do a couple of things here. The first is, what we're going to do is we're going to lop this off. Right? We're going to come up in here and just saw that whole edge right off. Right? So we're going to take this piece off. We're going to make a piece similar to it, right? Out of mild steel. We'll put an extra piece here in the middle. And then, because this is cast, rather than trying to do anything like that, we're just going to go ahead, because I can run it longer on this part here, is I'm just going to go ahead and drill and tap it and screw it in place. And that way the weight will all land on this part. It'll have a center support, and we won't have to worry about this bending and breaking over time. I did get some bronze, silicon bronze material, and I thought about TIG brazing the part onto here. I think I'm just going to do the screws. I might go back and TIG braze after the fact, once the screws are in place, just to give it a little more support. But effectively what I'm trying to do is separate the front half, the ornate part of it, from the load bearing portion. And that should work. First thing I'm going to do though, thankfully this is just a screw. So I'm going to unscrew this part. I'm going to take this over to the wire wheel. I want to get this all cleaned up, and while I can, I'll go ahead and put some fresh high temp paint on everything, and I'll get that part of it drying while we're doing the rest of this stuff here. So I'll bring you back in a little bit. Alright, and through the wizardry of video editing, we're going to blow through the fast part here of cutting all the materials. This is one where my daughter actually really loves this. You know, she calls this movie magic. So we're using movie magic to keep this a little more interesting. But basically all we're doing is we're cutting the 4 uprights and 2 lengths. I think I want to say 16-inch lengths and 3-inch uprights. We're trying to match the original height of the bar there. Well, I forgot to get the camera rolling. Had to do a couple of things. I had to cut the screw heads off that were holding the arms on from the uprights of the andirons. They tapped right out though. From there, I removed the broken segments. Right? Just used a cut-off disc. Remove the broken segments off of there. Now the plan is to get this in the middle, and we're going to get this nice and flat and smooth, so that we can put the two pieces together. Because basically what will happen is we will drill and tap the extensions on here. Right, so nothing terribly difficult, but we want to make sure that that's a nice flat surface to put this on. So that's where we're at now. Alright, back to 20 times the speed, and at this point we're just cleaning up the parts where we cut off with the cut-off disc. We want this nice and flat and parallel so that We've got just a slight backwards rake on the arms for the andirons. Again, you know, safety first, folks. We're trying to make sure the logs don't roll out into the living room, right? So just went ahead and got things cleaned up. It was a little interesting with the cast iron, though. Okay, so looking at it from this angle, your angle, it actually looks pretty bad. Because there's a big lip here, and I can feel the lip. The thing is that this was cast, right? So it has a draft. The sides all have angles on them. So trying to get from here to here in a flat level plane. Actually, there was a draft here, right? There was a little dip in on this one that didn't exist on the other one. Now, I could have taken the whole thing down a little bit, but I'm trying to keep the two sides about as even as I can. Little file work on here, and we should be ready to go. Both sides, I've noticed, right in the middle of that. Do some manual zoom. See the inclusions there? So, yeah, I don't know if it'll focus. Yeah, both sides have that same thing. So, some sand in the casting there. Alright, now we're just tapping 1/4-20 into the arms, and then from here we're going to put clearance holes in for the wings that are going to hold it in place. So it came out pretty nice looking, actually. Alright, so as you can see, quick dress up on the wire wheel makes a big difference. So get it cleaned up, we'll grease everything, and then we'll put some high temperature paint. We got Rust-Oleum high heat 2000 degree paint to put on everything. So yeah, just something. It'll probably burn off anyways, but we're doing our best to take care of this family. So I'm gonna keep at it. I don't think you guys really want to watch me sit there and wire wheel everything, but we're gonna do this first. I'm gonna get everything painted that I can paint, and then I'll work on the welding part of it. Well, after about an hour on the wire wheels, I managed to get everything cleaned up, and we're just getting the uprights painted, get that first coat of paint on there. It came out pretty nice. We were able to get everything dressed up nicely here, and then from this point it was time to get those arms put together. So we shift in, we get to doing some welding, you know, trying to figure out how we're going to lay everything out, keep everything square. I even tried a little bit of welding on camera to see how it would come out here. So let's take a look at that real quick. Just thought I'd see if I can actually pull this off. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. Thought I'd try it though. Let's see what the camera does. I've never actually tried to get arc shots on that, you know, with this camera. I actually used the slot. You guys can't see it right now, but I used the slot to put it upright so I'd have a better angle at it. Alright, so it's kind of a rinse and repeat here. Go ahead, get things tacked in place, get it squared up properly. We got the two sides done, and then we get outside, and I didn't realize that the audio was junk, so I wanted to just talk a little bit about it. You see the gap there? I'm not sure if you can see that. We need to have a slight angle going back. However, what I found with this is that the measurement I took was right, but because of the bend, it was a little inaccurate as far as it almost pushes up at this point. I don't know if that's the way that I machined it or not, but so basically the way to get around this is I need to get that lowered, and you know, got the plasma cam. We'll go ahead. We just pick out some material here, cut it out, and unscrew it and lower it down. So this is the nice part about screwing it in place rather than having already TIG brazed it in place, as it gave me the opportunity to go back and fix that. But yeah, you can see it's almost a 3/8 inch gap there, and I wasn't certain originally if it was a measurement issue on my part, if it was the way that I if I had machined things inaccurately. But in the end, what I decided was not to analyze it too much and just put a spacer in there, drop it down, level that out a little bit better, and it's always good to do a post-mortem and figure out what you did wrong, but at the same time, you got to get the job done, right? So rather than beating myself up on this stuff, I went ahead and just got it wrapped up, and let's take a look at the final product here. So without further ado, here we go. All right, just to wrap up. So we're almost done with the Andirons. I'm going to deliver them the way they are. The gap that we saw a few days ago in the video there, or in the last part of the segment of the video, I made a spacer. I'm so spoiled having this plasma cam. Basically, I made a couple little spacers, right, to level this out a little more. Still has a slight angle towards the back, so logs won't roll out to the front. However, I started out with 3/16. I thought I'd measured that right. It wasn't quite enough. I did my trigonometry wrong, and so I ended up doing a 3/8 spacer here. Everything screws together just fine. That's all done. The only thing that's really left on the project is there's these little supports with finials on them. They only have one. They're missing the other. So it's a little 1/2-inch square bar. Kind of goes up under here and then screws in place. So what I'm doing is I'm going to order some new finials that look similar to the originals. I'll make 2 new supports here. The nice part about it is these are decorative pieces at this point, so I'll get these, get them painted. Again, I used the high heat, 2000 degree high heat paint. We'll see how that turns out. But I have the same can that I used for this other stuff, so we should get the same finish across the board. And but I can at least get this over to them now so they can start enjoying their fireplace. I think the high today was like 55 degrees here in where I'm at in North Carolina. So we'll get this out the door. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please leave comments. I appreciate any comments that you have, and I'll talk to you again soon. One thing to note. Do I even indicate, bro? No, not like you do, Adam.